then you know. And certainly so, a wonderful equinox celebration. There was one particular chakra that was imbued, but know that all the chakras are aligned and balanced with the new energy as well. And you also brought back a symbol or a word, a sound, or an object that is meaningful to the future you are wanting to create. And if any of it was hazy, you can certainly so repeat the meditation. And know that the equinox energies are working with you. Already the universe has heard your request and is working to bring that to you in the most elegant and loving way possible. And so we have time for a question or two. Who would like to begin? Please unmute yourself.
Self asking for recovered well-being, and then I kept looking over at Carrie because her well-being is part of my well-being, and so
Indeed,
I kept waffling between the two. It's hard for me to imagine just asking for my own well-being, so I couldn't really just embrace one or the other. I always ask for her first. And that
is fine. Okay. And your request has been heard. Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you. I'll mute myself.
Tara, what does it mean that the request is being heard? Can you explain that a little bit?
Certainly. Well, everything is energy, as you know, John. Everything is, whether you make the sound or whether you think something or whether you just be, there is a wave of energy, isn't there? When it settles, it is called a standing wave. And in that standing wave, you experience reality in a particular way. In order for you to change the reality, it is important to change some of the components, one or more. And so you have been certainly doing this with the Yun method, looking for the primary component that if you were to remove it, then the wave collapses and you can add some new energy to it. So you might say tonight you added a new energy to your reality to allow some changes to take place. You also released some old patterns, didn't you? You allowed it to be removed. You gave it to your higher self to contribute to the imaginal realm where it can be evolved into something beautiful. And so why in the imaginal realm? Why not in some other plane or other realm? Well, for each and every one of you, one of the gifts from the new world is new imaginings. Not just because your reality comes from what you desire, what you expect. Isn't that so? And as you look to your past, you realize, well, there's that phrase, I've been there, done that. And you're not that excited about moving forward in that case, are you? You're thinking, well, why bother being here if it's just going to be variations of the same theme?
Sure.
And we've been talking with several of you about the new world, and the new world is of dominion. And what will it be like for you to co-create in a world of dominion where there's harmony, a new masculine energy at work, working together with the feminine to create something new, something that has never been. And when we say imagine, it's hard to imagine something that's never been, isn't it? Isn't it difficult? Not for the artists. The artist's easy. They live in that place. They live in the imaginal realm naturally. But the rest of the world needs to also move into that realm more and more in order to create what is going to be new for them. Certainly you can look to the arts for clues, but as mapmaker magicians, as co-creators of reality, one of your gifts is that you imagine. How you make those maps for the rest of your world is to go into the imaginal realm, to bring back something new. And so this meditation can be used at other times as well. It's particularly powerful right now because the equinox energies are at work. And the equinox energies are very much about change. So letting go of that which doesn't serve you, changes that are in process, and creating something new. Each of you have a particular focus. There may be more weight on one than the other. But we spent more time this evening in meditation on working on bringing in something new. Because that is where you are. That is what you are telling us you want to do. That you are ready to imagine something new, something that has never been, and something that serves not just you, but also your world. And so Raina speaking about, well, I couldn't just make it for me. I had to also include my loved ones. In this case, Carrie, of course. But it doesn't stop with just Raina and Carrie. That healing energy is then also contributed to the world. So there's a healing, not just in an insular way, but in a global way. For as you heal more of yourself, more of your world heals as well. And so was there anything specific, John, that you were wanting to know about? And so you asked, what does it mean that the universe heard us? Well, it's really not so much that there's a sound that was made, but it's to indicate that God, Goddess, who are co-creating all that is with you, are listening. And you are known. You are an important component. And so when you intend something, it activates an energy. It begins a new wave that contributes to the other waves. And the universe responds by bringing you more of what you intend. And of course, this is not linear in any way, shape, or form. And so it's hard to explain it in linear terms, and yet that is what you have available to you in your language. It is easier for you to imagine something if we put it in linear terms, but understand it is really to see it more as a sphere of energy. And the energy that's radiated goes forever. And so how does the universe then bring energy back to you? Well, forever is time, isn't it? But there isn't really time. Time is an illusion. There is only now. However, with intention comes magnitude. And so as you focus your attention and your intention and you align your actions, what is created is more of what you truly desire in many forms. It imbues your entire reality with the manifestation. So even as you say, well, we'll just use this as an example. I want a new home. I want something, a home that represents who I have become. So as you look at that as a more basic energy, there are many components. Is it, well, I want a home where I can express myself, more of myself. Is it that I want a home that nurtures me back? Is it that I want a place where people come and socialize and be with me? There are many different variations and intentions in this thing called home, aren't there?
Right. Sure.
And you, in your intention to have the new home, you can actually be saying that you want all of those things. And it would all be valid. And so what happens when you say you want a new home, the universe listens to, well, what are you really saying? And then brings you all of it. And some of you sometimes complain that, well, it wasn't the form that I said I wanted. But as you look to see, but does it have the essence of what I requested? And you will find more often than not that yes, it has the essence. And now I'm going to put more energy into it, and I'll get more and more of all those other variables. And you're not always going to get it right the first time. You may say you want a home, but actually you want freedom. And so you find that, well, home just hasn't become the focus. Even though I said I wanted a home, I'm finding myself traveling, or I ended up getting a new car instead, or I get invited on these trips with friends, and pardon COVID, which has put a halt on some of that travel, but that will be over soon, and then you'll be back to one. At all of those who are at home now and wish that you weren't, you're putting a lot of intention on what is next for you. Is it a different home? Is it travel? Is it being with other people? Is it being more to yourself? Is it having more companionship? Is it spending more time on things that you enjoy doing rather than things you have to do? All of this is part of this process that you are in, of evaluating what is next for me. And when we say what is next for me, it doesn't mean that you aren't also including those you love in the scenario. But as you recognize that you are the generator of your reality, and so the important question is always, what matters to me so that I can manifest more of the mattering in my reality, more soul in my reality. And as I manifest an expression of my soul, that imbues the physicality with mattering, so that all those in my reality also have a component of a deeper sense of mattering. And we realize you're struggling with that because there's a part of you that says, well, what do I really matter anyway? What does it matter if I'm here or not? And you would be correct in saying, does it matter if I'm physical? Not really, because you know that your soul is eternal, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
And yet, there is this playground called the physical plane. And it is in this playground that you allow yourself to interact in a very specific way with others who are playing in this playground as well, where you make allow each other to be more real to each other. And in that, you have an exchange of energy, and you gain insight into who you are. You get to see more of who we truly are in the reflection. And that is a gift that you give each other. Does it mean you have to be here? No, it doesn't. It doesn't mean that at all. But out of the choice comes whether or not you desire it. Is there more to experience and explore? Is there an opportunity to have more impact than you originally thought you needed to have? Is there an opportunity to make a difference of some kind, esoteric as it may be? For some, making a difference is very physical and overt and measurable. For others, it is has much more to do with who they are being and what they contribute by allowing their grace to flow into the reality. But giving yourself credit for that is harder, isn't it? As Lazar said, you may never, ever be congratulated for what a well-done job you've done in bringing in the new world. The world will just continue to flourish, and it is as though it has always been that way. And so you begin to understand it's not really the credit that matters. It's, am I being true to who I am? Am I allowing my physical reality to be a reflection of the light and the love that I am? Are there any more questions?
Oh, Tara, it's Richard.
Yes, dear one. Please proceed.
Yeah, I was more or less going to ask the same question that you just answered. But the next question would have been...
Wonderful.
It was marvelous. The next question is, as you're talking about the energies, is that the energies for all worlds in this, like the fairy realm and whatever else is out there?
Yes, the equinox energies are archetypal in nature. Certainly so in many traditions, they call upon the east, the south, the west, the north, above, below, within. Those directions are archetypes. They can be sometimes represented as the directions. They can be represented as archangels, or even other, for in fairy realm, there are different energies altogether, and yet they are similar in nature and function. And so it is a very good question. Well, what does it mean to have experienced the equinox in fairy realm? Well, the essence of equinox is the same, letting go of something that no longer serves, enjoying a change in progress, and opening to something new. It is those three components that are important. And how you activate those energies and make the changes is different in each of the realms, and yet it is similar enough that if you were to visit a fairy lifetime or visit with your fairy friend, you would find that, oh yes, it's time of equinox, and yes, we had a celebration or a ritual or an important meeting with our higher self. And so the energies are universal.
Thank you.
And therefore, it is also easier at this particular time to make those changes. Same with the solstice. Similar, not the same. And so to work with those energies in the coming days and to allow yourself to look for something new, not just to look for, but also to request it, to, as you've been doing, as we've been talking about the new world that is coming and wondering, well, how are we going to sense that? How are we going to perceive it? It's all about perception, isn't it?
Mm.
Creating new ways of perceiving reality, because it's all energy, and energy that takes form when you observe it. Whatever resonances you're in, you get to observe different things, don't you?
Right.
And so it's quite wonderful. It can be magical how reality occurs more and more, because your willingness to have it be more fluid, to have it adapt, and to reveal the magic and the mystery of the new world to you, you begin to see it. And of course, we've been calibrating you with these meditations to open your perceptions, to activate new ways of seeing and experiencing reality. And so over time, as we work with you, you will have more concrete examples, but always be looking and asking for it. For as you ask and give permission to see, your higher self can reveal more to you as well.
Wow.
Wonderful. And we thank you all for being here. Thank you for your wonderful questions. As always, we love you so. And know that we continue to work with you this evening with your permission. As you dream, allow yourself to integrate that which you experienced today.
Thank you, Tara.
And so we go for now. As we bring Katharina back, we go with love and peace to
Thank
each
you,
of you.
Tara.
Thank you. Thank you, Tara.
We love you so.